Hey, thanks for tuning in to this 8th Armature Viseme full moon update. So today I want to talk about customizing the face and appearance of Armature. What I've got here is just a little bit of monster clay that I've already warmed up in the microwave. And I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but the bottom of Armature has these magnets, really powerful magnets that attach firmly to the platform. And so if you're doing a sculpt, this works really great. And of course it works great for animation because it keeps the bust in place. So the other thing that I'm using here are some horns that you can buy on our website. And the other thing that's great about Viseme is that it's built at the 1/6 scale, so it's compatible with all the other pieces that we currently sell on our website, armature9.com. So I'm adding a little bit of clay here to the head just so that I can kind of bury these horns into the skull and hold them in place. As I sculpt over the rest of the figure, I spread the clay around and a little bit over the horns just so that they hold in a little bit more firmly. The really cool thing about monster clay is that you can soften it really nicely just putting it like 10 seconds in the microwave. But then over time it hardens pretty good, and so initially when it's soft you can add the volumes really quickly, but then as it hardens you can then work on the details, and it's less likely to change shape if you're handling it repeatedly like for a stop motion animation. There what I'm showing is that I'm building the stop for the mouth a little lower because I want to customize the length of the face. So I want the mouth shapes to fall considerably lower than they would normally without the clay. And so I'm carefully creating sort of like a ridge that will stop the mouth into the right spot. Now there are a number of ways in which you could approach this. In this instance, I'm sculpting it with the intention of using it for animation. So I'm being very careful to leave room for the eyes to move. And of course I want the mouth to still be swappable. But I could sculpt over the mouth shape as well and just turn it into more of a sculptural study, like a little face sculpture that I'm using maybe for an illustration study or just as a personal project. So there I've got most of the volume built in, and now I'm just going to test it before I do any further refinement to see can I really animate with this sculpt. So I'm going in and I'm adding the eyes. Now you'll notice the color difference between the wood and the clay. In my case, I'm essentially using that to represent the whites of the eyes, which you could paint over as well, although I would do the painting probably before adding the clay. But you could also spread the monster clay so thinly over the surface that you wouldn't really see the color difference, and you'd still be able to get away with adding the ferromagnetic facial features over the top of, though they might not slide with the same ease as they do when you're putting it directly over the wood composite material. Now even though I am sculpting, I would not advise baking Armature because the wood composite is a mixture of wood and plastic, so under great heat it'll just melt. Here I'm showing that you can easily then remove the clay and use Armature again for another sculptural study or a sculpture or custom character later on if you're doing an animation with multiple characters. Of course you could buy multiple Visemes, but this is just to show that the clay comes off pretty nicely. Requires perhaps just a little bit of dabbing toward the end just to get rid of some of the stuff that made it into the grit and texture. But yeah, so hope that was useful. But like I said, you can sculpt with the intention of animation like I did there, or you can put these clay permanently or semi-permanently over the mouth and over the face if you're trying to create like a custom head with like a beard going over the mouth shapes or something like that. You could also build those pieces separately, kind of like you can do with wigs. So for instance, if I wanted to just use the pieces as they are, I could play with the different facial features to create a custom look. So here I'm trying to make a more feminine looking character, so I'm using the more feminine eyes, the more feminine eyebrows, and I've painted over the lips on the Visemes themselves using a marker, which I go over in the previous video. And because it's a 1/6 scale doll, you can find all sorts of 1/6 scale wigs and hair pieces, or even hat wear online. So it's really easy to take Armature by Viseme as a starting point and build almost any humanoid character bust that you would like. And even though Armature is just the bust, like I mentioned earlier, you can add it to our Ranger armature and have the entire body, so you have the entire full range of expression that the body provides as well. So anyway, I hope that this was interesting, that you enjoyed this update, and as always, please subscribe to the mailing list, because when Armature Viseme is ready to come out, all those that are subscribed are going to get a substantial discount and or access to the early bird special for the campaign. So go to viseme.me and sign up for the mailing list so that you're in the loop. This should be coming up soon. So thanks for your patience, and thanks for watching.